Hey there, friends. Do you ever wake up in the morning and feel like your knees or hips are so stiff that you can barely get out of bed? Or maybe you've noticed that your hands ache when you try to open a jar, or your shoulders feel sore after a simple task like reaching for something on a shelf. If you're over 60, 70, or even 80, here's a little wake up call. Ignoring joint pain could mean missing out on the activities that bring you joy, like taking a peaceful walk in the park, playing with your grandkids, dancing at a family gathering, or even just getting up from your favorite chair without feeling like you need a helping hand. But what if I told you there are three simple secrets that can help ease your joint pain and get you moving freely again so you can enjoy your days without discomfort? Stick with me because I'm going to share exactly what those secrets are, along with some practical tips and real life stories to help you feel stronger, more comfortable, and ready to live your best life. Today, we're diving into something that can truly make a difference for your daily life, especially if joint pain has been holding you back from doing the things you love. I'll walk you through three simple secrets to help reduce your joint pain, improve your mobility, and get you back to enjoying the little moments that make life special, whether it's gardening, walking your dog, or just getting through your day without wincing in pain. We'll go through each secret step by step so you'll know exactly what to do, why it works for seniors like us, and how it can help you stay active and independent as you age. I'll also share some heartwarming stories from people just like you, along with easy tips to make these secrets a part of your routine, even if you're not sure where to start. Plus, I'll throw in a bonus tip at the end to help you tie it all together and see lasting results. So, grab a cup of tea, get cozy in your favorite chair, and let's get started on this journey to feeling better together. We're going to break this down into three simple secrets that can help ease your joint pain and get you moving more comfortably. And I'll explain each one in a way that's easy to understand and apply in your everyday life. Let's start with the first secret: adding gentle movement to your day to keep your joints flexible and reduce stiffness. Now, I know what you might be thinking. I'm not 40 anymore. I can't be doing jumping jacks, running around the block, or lifting heavy weights at the gym. And you're absolutely right. You don't have to do any of that. This isn't about intense exercise or pushing yourself too hard. It's about small, gentle movements that help loosen up your joints, get your blood flowing, and reduce that achy stiffness that can make mornings so tough. Why does this matter for seniors like us? As we age, our joints naturally lose some of their lubrication, and the cartilage that cushions them can wear down, a condition called osteoarthritis, which is incredibly common after 60. In fact, the Arthritis Foundation says that over 50% of people over 65 have some form of osteoarthritis, and it's one of the main reasons we feel joint pain. But here's the good news. A study from the Arthritis Foundation found that just 10 minutes of gentle movement a day can reduce joint pain by up to 20% in older adults because it helps improve blood flow, keeps your joints from getting too stiff, and even strengthens the muscles around them to provide better support. Let me tell you about Joan, a 72-year-old from Florida, who really felt the impact of this secret. Joan used to love her morning walks with her friends. They'd meet at the park, chat about their families, and enjoy the fresh air. But over the past year, she started struggling to get out of her chair because her knees felt so stiff, and she was worried about falling on those uneven park paths. It got to the point where she stopped joining her friends altogether, and she felt so isolated sitting at home, watching the world go by through her window. She thought, maybe this is just what aging is. I'll never be able to move like I used to. But then she heard about the power of gentle movement from her doctor, and she decided to give it a try. Every morning, Joan started with just 5 minutes of simple stretches. She'd sit in a chair, slowly roll her shoulders, stretch her arms overhead, and bend her knees gently while holding onto the back of the chair for balance. After that, she'd take a 5-minute walk around her living room, just a slow, steady pace to get her joints moving. At first, she thought, this is too easy to make a difference. I'm not even breaking a sweat. But after about 4 weeks, Joan noticed something amazing. She could stand up from her chair without wincing in pain, and her knees didn't feel as stiff in the mornings. She even felt confident enough to join her friends for those morning walks again. And the first time she made it around the park without stopping, she called me with tears in her eyes and said, "I feel like I've gotten a piece of my life back. I'm not afraid to move anymore." So, how can you start adding gentle movement to your day? It's easier than you might think, and you don't need any fancy equipment or a gym membership. Let's break it down into a simple routine you can try at home. First, set aside just 10 minutes each morning, maybe right after you have your coffee or tea, so it becomes part of your daily rhythm. Start with some seated stretches. Sit in a sturdy chair, roll your shoulders forward and backward 5 times, then raise your arms overhead and stretch gently, holding for a few seconds. Next, try some knee bends while holding onto the back of the chair for support. Just bend your knees slightly, as if you're about to sit down, then straighten up again. Do this 5 times and go at your own pace. If you're feeling up for it, finish with a short walk, maybe 5 minutes around your living room, down the hallway, or even in your backyard if the weather's nice. The key is to move your joints in a way that feels good for you without pushing yourself too hard. If something hurts, stop and try a different movement that feels better. Over time, you'll notice your joints feeling looser, your stiffness easing up, and your confidence growing as you move through your day. And if 10 minutes feels like too much at first, start with just 5 minutes and work your way up. You'll still see benefits because every little bit of movement helps. Now that you've got some gentle movement in your day to keep your joints flexible, let's build on that with the second secret: eating anti-inflammatory foods to reduce joint pain from the inside out. You might be wondering, what does food have to do with my joints? I thought joint pain was just about aging. Well, here's the thing. Inflammation in your body can make joint pain worse, and it's a big factor in conditions like osteoarthritis and even rheumatoid arthritis, which some of us might have. When we're over 60, our bodies can become more prone to inflammation, which can irritate our joints, make them feel achy and stiff, and even cause swelling that makes movement harder. But the good news is, certain foods can help calm that inflammation, giving your joints some much-needed relief and supporting your overall health at the same time. Some of the best anti-inflammatory foods are ones you might already have in your kitchen, and they're so easy to add to your meals. We're talking about fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, or sardines, which are rich in omega-3 fatty acids that fight inflammation. Berries like blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries are packed with antioxidants that help reduce inflammation too. And don't forget nuts like walnuts, almonds, or pecans. They're not only good for your joints, but also great for your heart. A study from the University of Michigan found that older adults who ate more anti-inflammatory foods had 30% less joint pain after 6 months, because these foods help lower the inflammation that's causing the discomfort, while also providing nutrients that support joint health over time. Let me share a story about Harold, a 68-year-old from the UK, who saw a real difference with this secret. Harold used to wake up every morning with aching hips, and it made it hard for him to get through his day. By lunchtime, he'd feel so tired that he'd just sit in his recliner for hours, unable to do the things he loved, like tending to his vegetable garden or going for a short walk with his wife. He felt frustrated because he'd always been an active person, and now he was starting to worry that he'd have to give up the hobbies that made him happy. His doctor suggested adding more anti-inflammatory foods to his diet, and at first, Harold was a bit skeptical. He thought, how can food really help my hips? I'm not getting any younger. But he decided to give it a try. He started having a small piece of salmon with his dinner twice a week. He'd bake it with a little lemon, garlic, and some herbs, and he found it was actually really tasty. For a snack, he'd have a handful of blueberries in the afternoon, sometimes with a cup of tea, and he added a few walnuts to his morning oatmeal, which gave it a nice crunch. He also started using olive oil instead of butter when cooking, because olive oil has anti-inflammatory properties too. After a couple of months, Harold noticed something incredible. His hips didn't ache as much in the mornings, and he had more energy to get out and tend to his garden. He even started joining his wife for their evening walks again, and the first time they made it around the block without stopping, he turned to her and said, "I feel like I'm getting my old self back. I can't believe something as simple as food made such a difference." So how can you add these anti-inflammatory foods to your meals? Let's go through some practical ideas that you can start with today. First, try to include fatty fish in your diet a couple of times a week. If you like salmon, you can bake it with a little lemon and herbs for a simple, delicious meal. It takes less than 20 minutes in the oven at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. If salmon's not your favorite, mackerel or sardines are great options too, and you can even find them canned if fresh fish isn't available. Just make sure to choose ones packed in water or olive oil, not heavy sauces that might have added sugar or salt. If fish isn't your thing at all, you can get omega-3s from flax seeds or chia seeds. Try sprinkling a teaspoon of ground flax seeds on your oatmeal or yogurt in the morning. Next, let's talk about berries. Blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries are all fantastic choices, and they're so easy to add to your day. You can sprinkle a handful on your cereal or yogurt for breakfast, or have them as a snack with a cup of tea in the afternoon. If fresh berries aren't in season, frozen ones work just as well. Just make sure they don't have added sugar. And finally, keep some nuts on hand for a quick anti-inflammatory snack. Walnuts, almonds, and pecans are all great options. Just a small handful a day, about 10 to 15 nuts, is enough to make a difference. You can add them to your oatmeal, toss them into a salad, or just eat them on their own while you're watching your favorite show. These foods can help calm the inflammation in your body so your joints feel less achy, and you can move more comfortably throughout your day. And as a bonus, they're good for your heart, brain, and overall health, so you're giving your whole body a little love with every bite. With movement and diet helping your joints from the inside and out, let's take it a step further with the third secret, using heat and cold therapy to soothe pain and improve mobility. This is such a simple trick, but it can make a big difference when your joints are feeling sore, stiff, or swollen. You might be thinking, heat and cold therapy? That sounds like something I'd need a doctor for. But the truth is, you can do this right at home with things you probably already have, and it's a safe, natural way to find relief. Why does this work so well for seniors? As we age, our joints can become more sensitive to pain, and things like swelling, stiffness, or even a little inflammation can make it harder to move around comfortably. Heat therapy helps relax your muscles and increase blood flow to your joints, which can loosen them up and reduce that stiff, achy feeling, especially in the mornings when you first wake up. Cold therapy, on the other hand, helps reduce swelling and numbs the pain, which is great if your joints feel hot, inflamed, or swollen after a long day on your feet. Dr. Susan Carter, a rheumatologist at the Mayo Clinic, once said, "Heat and cold therapy are like a 1-2 punch for joint pain. They're simple, safe, and can give seniors real relief without any medication, which is so important when you're trying to avoid side effects." Let me tell you about Margaret, an 81-year-old from California who found this secret to be a game changer. Margaret used to dread getting out of bed in the morning because her knees would feel so sore, especially on cold days when the weather seemed to make everything worse. She felt like she couldn't keep up with her daily chores, like doing the laundry or watering her plants, and it made her worry about losing her independence. She didn't want to rely on her kids to come over and help with every little thing, because she'd always been so self-sufficient. But then she learned about heat and cold therapy from her physical therapist, and she decided to give it a try. In the morning, she'd start by placing a warm heating pad on her knees for 10 minutes while she sipped her morning tea. It helped loosen up her joints so she could get moving without that sharp pain. If her knees felt swollen after a long day, like after she'd been standing in the kitchen making her famous apple pie, she'd wrap a bag of frozen peas in a towel and place it on her knees for another 10 minutes to calm the swelling and ease the discomfort. She also started taking a warm bath in the evening a few times a week, which helped her whole body relax and made her joints feel so much better. After a few weeks, Margaret noticed her knees didn't hurt as much and she could walk to her mailbox without stopping to rest halfway. She even started doing some light gardening again, which brought her so much joy. She told me, "It's such a simple thing, but it's made my days so much easier. I feel like I can do more now, and I'm not as worried about needing help all the time." So how can you use heat and cold therapy to help your joints? Let's go through a simple plan you can try at home with things you probably already have in your house. First, let's talk about heat therapy. In the morning, try applying a warm compress or heating pad to your sore joints for 10 to 15 minutes. You can even use a warm towel if you don't have a heating pad. Just soak a small towel in warm water, wring it out, and place it on your knees, hips, or shoulders while you sit and relax with your morning coffee. It'll help loosen things up before you start your day, making it easier to get moving without that stiff, achy feeling. If you like taking baths, a warm bath in the morning or evening can work wonders too. Just soak for 15 to 20 minutes and let the warmth relax your muscles and joints. Now, let's talk about cold therapy. If your joints feel swollen, hot, or inflamed, maybe after you've been on your feet for a while, grab a bag of frozen peas or an ice pack, wrap it in a thin towel, and place it on the area for 10 minutes. The towel is important because you don't want to put ice directly on your skin. It can be too harsh and might irritate your skin, especially as we get older and our skin gets thinner. You can do this once or twice a day, depending on how your joints feel, and it'll help reduce swelling and numb the pain so you can move more comfortably. If you don't have frozen peas, a bag of frozen corn, or even a cold, damp towel from the fridge can work in a pinch. This simple trick can help soothe your joint pain, reduce swelling, and make it easier to get through your day so you can get back to the activities you enjoy, like cooking your favorite meal, knitting a scarf for your grandkids, or just sitting outside and enjoying the sunshine. Now that you've got these 3 secrets in your toolbox, gentle movement, anti-inflammatory foods, and heat and cold therapy, let's tie it all together with a bonus tip that can help you see lasting results. Staying consistent with these habits and building a daily routine that works for you. I know consistency might sound a bit boring and you might be thinking, "I've got enough on my plate. I don't need another thing to worry about." But hear me out, because this is the key to making these changes really work for you over the long term. Why does consistency matter so much for seniors like us? When you stick to a routine, your body starts to adapt, and those small changes, like moving your joints, eating better, and using heat or cold therapy, start to add up over time. It's like watering a plant. A little bit every day helps it grow strong, but if you only water it once in a while, it won't thrive. A study from the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that older adults who followed a consistent routine for joint health saw a 25% improvement in mobility after 8 weeks, compared to those who only did these things sporadically. Consistency helps your joints stay flexible, reduces inflammation over time, and keeps pain at bay, so you can keep doing the things you love without interruption, like going to your weekly book club, taking a stroll with your neighbor, or even just getting through your daily chores without feeling exhausted. Let me share a story about David, a 76-year-old from Texas who learned the power of consistency the hard way. David used to feel so frustrated because his shoulder pain would come and go, and it was starting to affect his favorite hobby, playing golf with his buddies every week. He'd try stretching or eating better for a few days, but then he'd skip a few days because he didn't have a plan and he'd get busy with other things, like doctor's appointments or helping his daughter with her kids. He felt like he wasn't making any progress, and it made him worry that he'd have to give up golf altogether, which was one of the few things that brought him joy since he retired. He thought, "Maybe I'm just too old to keep up with this. I'll never get better." But then he decided to get serious about consistency. He sat down and made a daily schedule. Every morning at 8 a.m., right after his breakfast, he'd do his 10-minute gentle movement routine, some shoulder rolls, arm stretches, and a slow walk around his living room. For breakfast, He'd have oatmeal with a handful of blueberries and walnuts, sticking to his anti-inflammatory foods. If his shoulder felt sore during the day, he'd use a warm compress in the morning for 10 minutes and a cold pack in the evening if it felt swollen after his golf game. He even set a reminder on his phone to keep himself on track, and he put a little calendar on his fridge where he'd check off each day he followed his routine. At first, it felt like a lot of effort, but after 6 weeks, David noticed something incredible. He could swing his golf club without wincing in pain, and he was back on the course with his friends, laughing and enjoying himself like he used to. He even started hitting the ball farther than he had in years. He told me, "Having a routine gave me something to stick to. I feel stronger and more in control of my pain now, and I'm not going to let my age stop me from doing what I love." So, how can you stay consistent with these habits and build a routine that works for you? Let's go through some practical steps to make it as easy as possible. First, pick a time each day that works for you. Maybe right after you wake up or after your morning coffee when you're already in a good rhythm. For example, you could set aside 10 minutes for your gentle movement routine at 8 a.m., then have your breakfast with some anti-inflammatory foods like berries and nuts at 8:30. If your joints feel sore, you can use your heat or cold therapy right after your movement while you're still in that self-care mindset. Second, make it easy to remember by setting a reminder on your phone or putting a sticky note on your fridge that says something like move, eat well, feel better. You can even pair your new habits with something you already do every day, like doing your stretches while your coffee brews or eating your walnuts while you watch the morning news. Third, track your progress to keep yourself motivated. Get a little notebook or calendar, and each day you follow your routine, put a check mark or a smiley face. It'll give you a sense of accomplishment, and you'll be amazed at how those check marks add up over time. And finally, don't worry if you miss a day. Life happens, and that's okay. Maybe you had a busy morning with a doctor's appointment, or you just weren't feeling up to it. That's perfectly fine. Just get back to your routine the next day, and don't beat yourself up about it. The key is to make these habits a regular part of your life, so they become as natural as brushing your teeth or making your bed in the morning. Consistency will help you see those long-term results, not so you can keep moving comfortably, enjoying your days, and feeling more in control of your health. Let's take a moment to recap everything we've covered today. We've talked about 3 simple secrets to help ease your joint pain and get you moving freely again, plus a bonus tip to make them work even better over time. First, we looked at adding gentle movement to your day, like stretching or walking for 10 minutes to keep your joints flexible and reduce stiffness, helping you get out of bed or up from a chair without that achy feeling. Then, we talked about eating anti-inflammatory foods like salmon, berries, and walnuts to calm the inflammation that's making your joints ache, giving you relief from the inside out. Next, we explored using heat and cold therapy to soothe pain and improve mobility, with heat to loosen up your joints in the morning and cold to reduce swelling after a long day. And finally, we discussed the importance of staying consistent with these habits, because building a daily routine can help you see lasting results and keep your joints feeling better over time. Together, these secrets can help you reduce your joint pain, improve your mobility, and get back to doing the things you love, like taking a walk in the park, playing with your grandkids, dancing at a family wedding, or just getting through your day without discomfort holding you back. I know dealing with joint pain can feel so frustrating, especially when it stops you from enjoying the little things that make life special, like baking cookies with your grandkids, tending to your garden, or even just sitting outside with a good book without feeling stiff and sore. But you don't have to do it all at once, and you don't have to be perfect. Start small. Maybe try a few gentle stretches tomorrow morning while your coffee brews, or add some blueberries to your breakfast this week. The key is to take that first step, because you deserve to feel comfortable, strong, and full of energy, no matter your age. As Dr. Susan Carter from the Mayo Clinic said, small changes can make a big difference in how your joints feel, It's never too late to start taking care of yourself, and every step forward counts. So let's make a promise to ourselves to try at least one of these secrets this week and keep going, one day at a time. You've got this, and I'm cheering you on every step of the way. I believe in you, and I know you can do this. If you found this video helpful, I'd love for you to give it a like and subscribe for more health tips just for seniors. Your support means the world to us, and it helps us share more advice to help you live your best life in your golden years. I'd also love to hear from you in the comments. What's one secret you're excited to try? Maybe you're ready to start your morning stretches, or you're going to add some walnuts to your diet, or perhaps you're looking forward to trying heat and cold therapy. Let me know. I read every comment, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts and cheer you on. For more tips on staying healthy and active after 60, check out our video on 5 food hacks to help you fight cancer naturally. It's packed with simple ideas to support your health. Stay strong, stay positive, and take care of yourself every single day because you deserve to feel your best. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.